Hello, my knitter friends. It's been so long since we spoke. I'm so happy to be here today with you and my knitting, and hopefully your knitting and a good cup of coffee. I'm your host, Steph, also known as the Knitting Samurai. That right there is Linus. He is my cat. Macoban is Steve's cat. And this is a podcast about knitting, my adventures in knitting, my adventures with my family, and keeping it all up in the air and moving forward. So, thanks for joining me today. So this is episode 166. I have called this, I've been missing you. I know, the month of July, I almost called it January. July is gone. Where did it go? I'm not sure. But it's been a while. So, and I honestly could have recorded 5 or 6 days ago, but I was absolutely not going to record until I had finished my pie shawl. So it is officially done. This is the pattern is designed by Jennifer DeSau. I used Leading Men Fiber Arts, that's the dark teal color, and then Captain Tight Pants is the variegated that I striped throughout. So it is a huge shawl and it's glorious. And I haven't woven in my ends because weaving in ends takes away from stash dash time. I knit this on US size 6s, and you can see it's about this long. I used, close to 700 yards. It's a good size shawl. I'm gonna move my bench forward just a little, there we go. So yeah, I could totally wrap up the ends, nice and snugly. Great for this winter, can't wait to wear it. And if you're keeping track at home, that's where I was last time. And I was not gonna record again until I had finished that whole last section, which is 42 rows of garter stitch well over 300 stitches. So it was a slog, but I made it through and I'm happy to have it done. So it's this really cool asymmetrical triangle of a shawl. So that's done and off my needles, and it feels great to have it finished. I want to say I cast it on in January. That's what I have in my head. I could be right. I could be wrong. It's always a surprise. You never know. But that's off my needles. And I was pretty monogamous on this till it was done. And then once it was done, I looked around because I wanted to have something else finished for Stash Dash because I need some help getting yardage here. And so I pulled out the Save the Baby Whale sweater. This is by Sergeant Anna maybe? I was thinking this is going to be for Tristan. I knit the 2 to 3 T size. I added waves to the sleeves and I made it so that it's a Henley sweater instead of a cardigan, I believe is what the pattern was. So I put the little water spout here, and reverse the waves and put the water here as well. What else? I used Cascade 220 Heathers. This is color 1910 called Summer Sky Heather. I used US size 4s, thanks Line, and 6s to knit this. I put it on Tristan for the first time and it was a 90-degree day, so I can't really blame him, but he couldn't get it off his body fast enough. Like he was just pulling. So it was hard to gauge if it fit or not. It was clearly big enough. What I was trying to figure out was if it was so big that it would fit Roland because it may be a 5T, especially, I mean, it hasn't been blocked, but just looking at it, I could see how big the shoulders are versus the waist. So it definitely cinches in for the color work. I don't think I changed needle size for the color work. I probably should have gone up one, knowing what I know now. I started this last Thanksgiving, so it's been a long time coming for this sweater. But it is done, yay! And it was one of my missions for this year to knit sweaters for my guys and myself. So here's one. I'm never gonna get the others done, but at least that one's done. I kitted up some blanket squares, some yarn, and then I realized that blanket squares are not going to help me achieve Stash Dash. So even though I'm motivated to get going on them, it's really not the best time for it. So I'm kind of setting those aside for now. Here's Macaban, my original, my oldest Devon Rex. He is, are you 13? Yeah, he's 13. Oh, this When I was headed north, I cast on a new pattern called, new to me anyways, the Bev Cowl by Shireen Nadar. And here, I believe it's free. So it's basically a tube, and it's split at the back of the neck. I don't know if you can see that, but so it hangs nicely in the front. Pretty simple knit. I thought I would do it as a progression of colors, and so I cast on, and I was so excited. And I knit, what is this, 1.5 inches in one sitting, and then I didn't touch it again because I don't like how that looks. The colors are just too contrasting. If I'm gonna have a progression, I think I need to hold the yarn double and maybe overlap and let it barber pull for a couple rows. But this is just too much variegation. I was holding, yeah, here, a blue and a gray together and a blue and a white together before that, and it was just too much. So this will get frogged, unfortunately. But I still think it's a great pattern. So I may bring that one back to life just because, you know, I love working on, working with 2 strands of yarn and seeing what comes of it. And I have this whole scarf planned out. So maybe I just need to hold each one doubled and go through them that way instead of trying to run a main color through it, you know? So maybe alternate the main color. There's more thinking that has to be done with this. I am quickly sharing everything I have with you, but that's okay. I have been making amazing progress. Can I just say that again? Amazing progress. Yes, thank you, baby. On the Orion shawl. So this is a pattern by Pauline P. And let me find a picture to show you. It's a 2-color shawl. Oh, please excuse the bad printing, but you can see it's a very large crescent-shaped shawl with these, what look like the clusters of stars that are in Orion. It's about a very cool idea. Something different, a variation on a theme of a crescent. And so, this was my oxymoron. You remember this? I showed it to you last time, although I don't think I had a progress keeper on it. No, because I hadn't gotten very far. So this is handmade in Casbah in the pewter. That's the gray. That's the main color. And then I have Knit Pick Stroll for the orange in butternut squash. And then this teal is some Lion Brand Sakis in the color Taffy. I'll tell you that I love knitting with the Handmaiden. I've never knit with it before. I will definitely knit with it again. I don't own any other Handmaiden in my stash, so something that needs to be remedied. Let's see, I went off script and did my own contrast color cast on, so it's, according to the pattern, it's all the same. And then through the belt portion, I can't remember if this is a paid for pattern or not, I'm pretty sure it is. Through the belt portion, oh yeah, yes, it is a paid for pattern because it was gifted to me by Made in England. Thank you, enjoying knitting it. So through the belt portion, here we go. There's some reverse stockinette stitch, whatever it is. You do the color changes on the front so that there are blips of gray mixed in with the orange. And I didn't like that. So I just didn't. So I changed it. So mine will be less contrasty and variegated in through that section and more clear delineated. Here are the star clusters on that. But it's going really well so far. The Sakis is super rough on the hands, and the Knit Picks is really soft, just like the Casbah. So I have in my head that I use 6 rows of the Sakis here in the blue teal, and I'm going to do another 6 rows, and then that's it for the shawl. So I don't think that's enough that it's going to make it super rough on my neck, and I think that these colors match enough, contrast enough with my wardrobe that it'll be a go-to piece. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's been mindless knitting for probably 15 or 20 hours. It's been mindless. Through the belt portion, I have to count, pay attention a little bit, like 30% brain power, not even super concentration. And then once that section's done, I expect it'll go back to mindless stockinette, so it can be my travel project again. For now, it's traveling with me, but I'm really not knitting on it because I'm obsessed with Pokemon, confession number 1, and because I just haven't been in a place to knit where I could focus that closely on it. But it's been really fun. So I like this pattern a lot. been a good knit for me so far. So that leaves us with, oh, I left one over there. Well, if you've seen one hat, you've seen them all. Right? Like, so this is one of my 2 strands of fingering weight yarn held together, knit on US size 5, switching to size 7s for the body of the hat. I am using some leftover purple black variegated yarn that I have, and then I was mixing in this teal, so hopefully the camera will help me decide, or you will. I don't think, Linus, that's not helpful. That's not helpful. I don't think there's enough contrast to see the color work. So then what's the point of color work, right? The point of it is that it looks beautiful. So this stitch pattern is based off a shirt I have that every time I wear it, I get 3 or 4 compliments from people I know and don't know about how cool that shirt is. So I thought, I spent the time, it took me about an hour to chart out the stitch pattern and make it into a chart for myself. So I thought I'd try it, but this is not doing it justice. So I am 5 rows into it, so I think I'll just rip it back. I don't know what color to contrast with this. It's a tough one. It's a real tough one. Because I thought teal would be enough. I don't know. Maybe there's enough. I have a podcast, so I can talk to myself and ask rhetorical questions of you, but I really can't hear your answers. I think you have to yell louder. So that's on my needles. Slow progress there, but it's a good take along till it gets to the color work. Same as the shawl. So that brings me to, what have I been up to? What have my adventures been? So it's been almost 3 weeks since we last spoke, and I don't want to get into it. But I'm just going to say that one of my aunts passed away, and that was why I was on a long trip, and I didn't want to talk about it ahead of time, but we went up and had 2 ceremonies for her, and it was beautiful, and I hope she's at peace and happy where she is now. So that took up a lot of brain space for me, and then just as I was starting to come off that, Pokemon came out, and I was like, what is this craziness about Pokemon Go? And my boss's 11-year-old son started playing, and then he got her playing, and then she started goading me, and then Steve thought he'd check it out, so he checked it out. And between Steve and my boss Vanessa, I was done for. It was inevitable. I would become a Pokemon master. So I've probably spent 2 to 5 hours a day playing this game. I've never been a video game person, and I can't seem to stop. I'm completely addicted. I don't knit. I, feed the boys, I play with them, I put them to bed, and I go out for a couple hours, or Steve goes out for a couple hours. We're taking turns on who's out and about in town at the historic sites playing Pokemon. It's ridiculous. I'm 35. What am I doing? But I can't help it. It's so much fun. So I've boiled it down to what's fun for me is unlocking new creatures. And I have like 75 out of the 150 creatures. And it's been 2 weeks. So I'll be done in 2 weeks. So hopefully my knitting life comes back. It will. I'm just a little distracted right now playing that. And in case you're wondering, in case you have a little person who plays, because you couldn't possibly play. This is a kid's game, after all. I'm a level 22, so I'm pretty advanced on this game, and I don't mind telling everyone about it. So that's been going on. I took a course at work, an 8-day session, 8-hour session on the 7 habits of highly effective people. It's a course based on a book written by Stephen Covey. He has there's an institute, the Franklin Covey Institute, and they go around teaching people all over the world, holding conferences and seminars about these 7 habits. So I took that and I walked into it thinking, I'm gonna go and figure out how to demonstrate to my director that I'm ready to be promoted. That was my mission for the day. About 2 hours into it, I realized that's like night and day to my personality, what I need to do to get to that point. And it's not what I want out of life. And so I ended up writing a personal mission statement, reevaluating all of my goals, and just sort of thinking about the end in mind. What do I want people to say about me when my time comes, when the end is near? And in light of my aunt, everything hit home. And so it's really changed my perspective on life and what's important. And, living each day, it's cliche to say, but living each day to accomplish something. So, enjoying the little moments with the boys and focusing on what makes me happy and taking a moment to meditate and, revisit what I value in my life, and bringing joy and happiness to other people is actually really, really crucial to me. I derive so much happiness from that. So it's been an interesting journey the past, I want to say 10 days, since I took the class, and how I've incorporated it into my life. And I even had my mission statement. I wear bracelets all the time. These 2 bracelets, one says Knitting Samurai Inner Guys, and one says Knitting Samurai +1, and I have one that just says Knitting Samurai. I had a bracelet made for my personal mission statement that I wear, that's like the key words to help me remember what I want out of life. And it's been very eye-opening. The other thing I've been doing lately, because I'm just sharing about my life, is my mom and I are trying out churches. I grew up going to church every single Sunday, baptized, confirmed, all that stuff. And I lost it in college, and I stopped going. And that's an important part for me of the reason we're here, So I'm bringing that back into my life. And so there are 6 churches in this town and the next town over that are possible candidates for us, where we would be happy to go, my parents and the boys and I. And so Mom and I are doing the legwork and figuring out if those communities are right for us, which one we belong at. And so that's also been going on with me. So there's a lot of this finding myself going on right now. And of course there's always place for you guys, because sharing my knitting with you, I hope it makes you happy, because that's one of my missions in life, is to make people happy. So it's been different. I haven't been doing my normal tasks as you were. And, having the cleanest house and looking the most put together on Facebook are not the most important things in my life. And so letting it go. Letting the little things go and focusing on the big things that I can affect and accomplish. So that's what's been going on for me.
Breaking news from Macoban. It's going to rain. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to rain. That is all I have for you today. Back to your regularly scheduled programming.
All that soul searching is going on with me right now, looking for meaning and finding time for everything and putting first things first. And then Pokemon. So, don't take me with too much seriousness, because there is a lot of silly in me. But we've also, last weekend was the Stratum Fair. So we went with the grandparents, MMP, Meme and Pepe, took the boys and had a good time. It's a small fair. It's, they have the rides, probably 10 of the big carnival rides you think of, and then 3 or 4 buildings of animals. So we had a great time feeding the goats and the ducks and checking out the chickens and the sheep and the cows and the pigs. No cats, bunnies. The boys thought it was great. Oh, a squirrel just ran by on the deck. He doesn't know it's gonna rain. Maybe he does. Maybe his house is over here. I don't know. Maybe you'll see him. Oh, I see him outside. Do you see him? He's behind me now. Actually, I should probably lean this way. Linus is in the way, I'm sure. It's all animals here today. So, for Stash Dash, I have 2.9K in, and I'm going for 5K, and I have 3 weeks. So, unless I do some massive knitting tomorrow, I have the day off, and I'm planning to have a action matinee in the afternoon, because I'm the only one in my house who likes action movies / is old enough to watch action movies. So I usually do that alone. So I'll be doing that, and the needles will be flying along because I love some good action, fast paced to get me going. It's thundering now. I'm getting a little scared. I want to wrap this up. So let me just tell you that for 2016 aspirations, I am on track with knitting 27% more yarn this year than I knit last year. So I've knit 10.7 thousand yards this year. And then in terms of getting my stash back down to 160 miles of yarn, I've been negative, so net negative, every single month for the last 6 months. I'm so proud of that. I can't even begin to tell you how much better that makes me feel, because right now my stash is in the playroom closet and my knitting room closet, and I really would like it all to fit in the playroom closet. At which point I'll probably go on a buying frenzy. No, I won't. I think one closet full of yarn is a reasonable amount of yarn for me. I don't know about you, but that's for me. So that is where I stand for my 2016 aspirations. So now, I think I've shared everything I have for you for this time. Linus and I are gonna go cook dinner. He's actually not gonna cook dinner. I'm not even gonna pretend that. I'm gonna cook dinner. He's gonna sit here and watch the rain come down. Mac is over there next to me. And I hope you enjoy what you're up to with your knitting, and I will see you in about 10 days or so. Don't worry, I'll be back. I need a little time there. So, take care. I'll talk to you soon. Love you. Mwah. Bye.
Look at Ro.
Ro, you've got some friends.
I got lots of friends.
Yeah, like it.
Oh, look at that cow, Tristan.
Where's the yarn?